Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's Friday, the 3rd of June, 2022. There are 30 minutes left in the trading day, so I'm going to go ahead and do my weekend report. This is my standard risk disclaimer. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. If you like what you see when I'm using HCSI along with Thinkorswim, and if you're not trying the software, and if you are and you're not a member of my Insider Club, you can join by going to this website right here, or just go to highgrowthstock.com and you'll see the free trial. I'm going to go to my designer, and I'm going to go down to my market analysis user groups. These are groups I put together over the years, which give me a feel for what's going on in the market. You can see that nothing's showing up here because the filter is on. If you hold your shift key while clicking on that, if it's indented, then everything comes through. Now I'll click through to the warehouse view, resize this so we can see everything, and then I'm going to go to my top-down process views for ETF analysis and go to my scorecard intraday sort on raw combo, and you can see that it's another rough day. Yesterday was very strong. Today there was a reaction, and it's a weak day. Oil is up another 2.52% today, the USO. Bring it up down here and you can see that it's out to a new high. Let's go to a weekly chart where we can see it better. So gas prices are going to be going up again. If I go down one, you can see that gasoline is right here, and there it is. It's out to a new high. So there's no relief in sight at this point. This is a weekly chart. Let's look at the GSCI commodity index. Look at the commodity index shares. Let's see what else do I have here. Let's go down to the other extreme. And this is one of those ARC funds down 6.19%. You can see they're down here at the bottom. They were all up yesterday. So it's just a complete reversal. I want to sort on this. I want to locate the QQQ, and you can see what happened yesterday. Huge, I'm sorry, that's weekly. Let's go to daily. Huge move up yesterday. It opened halfway down yesterday's candle, and it's trading near the low. Now this dot signifies no supply. Look at the volume here. It's down. If you look over here, the intraday volume compared to the 20, 50, and 90-day moving average volume is down 30, 35, nearly 40% on some of them. So there's not a lot of selling today as far as volume, but as far as the price goes, you can see here that this is down 2.74% today. They're selling, but it isn't panic selling. Let's take a look at the SPY, the S&P 500 proxy, and you can see that it is not down as much, and it's also getting a no supply. That's a sign of strength because there's just no volume. I mean, this is extremely low. So traders, investors must just be sitting tight, and after the big up move this week, let's go back to the weekly chart. This was actually last week, and this is this week. I want to go back, and you can see how narrow this is. We had a 4-day week. This is a Memorial Day weekend, so over those 4 days, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 days. This is last Friday. So since last week, the market has really done nothing. This is last week, and then this is this week, the 4 days. Let's take a look at the QQQ on the weekly. Pretty much the same thing. Big move last week, and then nothing this week. Tried to follow through, carry through, but it just didn't do it. Now the weekly volume is light, but remember we just had 4 days, but still that is extremely light. Last week's volume was light on the big up move, so it just says there's not a lot of participation. Let's take a look at the charts here. This is a 5-minute chart of the S&P E-minis. This is a 5-minute chart of the NASDAQ. You can see all the selling early. These are bonds, gold. I'm looking over here at the advancers versus decliners. You can see on the NYSE there are 1,539 more decliners than advancers, and in the NASDAQ 1,293. But look at the volume. It's just it's astounding, really, how low it is. Maybe a lot of traders are not back from their Memorial Day weekend. Let's just take a look here. Here's the comp. It's down 303. As I'm doing this, it's kind of holding steady. Half hour ago, it was around the same level. You can see that it's at 22.69% of its daily range. Okay, I'm going to look at the NASDAQ 100 futures. You can see the volume is light again, below yesterday, below the day before. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, first trading day. That was a heavy volume day. The market futures tried to break out, but they closed lower than the open on heavy volume. So it was really a distribution followed by another distribution day because it opened here, traded up here, and closed down here on lighter volume. And then here on this big up day, which was yesterday, look how the volume has come down. A strong close today, or follow through from yesterday, would have given me confidence that this market is heading higher. But after today, the jobs numbers came out. They were strong, and then the market reacted negatively almost immediately. It's just a good way to get beaten up. Okay, so let's take a look at where the strength is. I'm going to go to all securities. To get there quickly, just hold your alternate key and space bar. This changes from major market ETFs to all securities. And then down here under my name, I'm going to go to leaders, up and down on volume. And you can see what the leading stocks are based upon volume. That's end of day. But that was yesterday, but when I changed to intraday today, you can see that there are only 4 stocks that are up. And with about 20 minutes to go, only 2 of them are trading in the 80 percentile of their daily ranges. So let's just bring this stock up. Look at this stock. This one's been moving for a while. Totally missed it. This is a weekly chart. Let's go to a daily chart. You can see very heavy volume today, above average volume. This has been a beautiful chart. There were never more than 2 down days in a row, so it has been trending up. If I put it on this chart, you can see that on these 2 down days, it did dip down. The 3 went down below the 6 slightly, but it reversed the next day. and the trend has been up. Beautiful stock. Group has been just okay. Group rank of 70 under IT services. But anytime a stock is trading up here, especially when it's above the 3-day moving average, that is a very strong stock. So that's a leader. Now I'm going to drop down and click on leaders down on volume. Now there aren't many because the volume is so light. I mean, these are down. You can see the percentage down. I'm going to go into my filter here, and you can see that I'm looking for stocks where the intraday volume compared to their 20-day moving average volume is 50% above. And this is the same as what we're seeing with the QQQ and the SPY, just light volume. So there are stocks that are down, but there are only 8 that are down on relatively heavy volume. This column right here has to be above 50% of the average. Here's one that's right at it. So there just aren't many. We're not seeing a lot of heavy selling today, even though it's a really bad market day. I'm going to go down to market leaders intraday. These are stocks that are not down any more than 7% from their 52-week high. If I click on this right here, I've got this in my spectrum analyzer. You can see they're 81 up and 80 down today. And these are the leaders. I'm going to click on this folder right here and just call this up, down, leaders. And what it's doing is creating a couple of indexes. And here it is right here. Let's see the stocks that are up today. And now I'll get away from this view and just drop into the industry. And you can see, because of the high oil and gasoline prices that we saw when I began this video, what's up today? Exploration and production, integrated oils, refining and marketing. Shipping stocks have been strong. Oil and gas services. These must not be assigned yet to groups, but these are the dominant groups. Energy related. We've seen this for months. Okay, I'm going to go to the down group. We do have some oil stocks that are down, but only 8 of them. Some exploration stocks that are down, 7. Utility. There's a little bit of everything that's down, but the ones that are up are more enlightening, and you can see some of these that are down are just barely down. There are not any stocks that are down sharply in this group. I'm going to close this. Going to go back to all securities, alternate spacebar. You can see it takes me right there. Now I'm going to go into the designer, click on industries, select industries, and I'm going to rebuild these with current data. Rebuild indexes in group. What I want to do next is I want to see which industries are up the most and down the most today. This takes just a few seconds to do this. I'll click through to this. Now I have to go to another view. I go to my top-down scorecard views for index analysis, click on this one. Now this is the third because I rebuilt them. This is all current information. Waste management is up 2.1%. Integrated oils, refining and marketing, same thing we saw in the leaders group pretty much. You're going to bring up this waste management index, which is up the most, and you can see this right here. Then this is a little trick. You can go to the index and then right mouse click and change to the industry group, and then you'll see all of the stocks that are in the industry groups. And you can go through them one at a time, or you can click back to the warehouse view, and then this will show you what the leading stocks are. They're up for the day and the percentage is up. Let's just take a look at a few of these in the chart. It's a stock that's been going down and then it reversed. Here's stopping volume, 3 stopping volumes, a pocket pivot on that one, moved up, expanded, then it went into contraction. It's pretty much been going sideways. Well, slightly up. Okay, here's a low. These are higher lows, higher highs. So the trend is up. If you look up here, you can see the short-term trend is up and the medium-term trend is up too. These are VPA trends and these are random walk trends. I use the VPA trends primarily. You can see the group is strong. It's been going up recently anyway. Doesn't have a long-term good ranking, but it has been going up. Let's look at one more in here. And here, this is nice. Look at this. The fan is up. Expansion, contraction, starting to expand again. Only 1/4 of data in here. But that one is certainly a nice looking chart. The symbol is VTNR, Vertex Energy, if you want to track it next week. So let's take a closer look at this stock and I'll try to point out a few things to you. Make this yellow. This would be a low pivot right here. You can see the pivot. And then a cheater buy where it takes out this high would be here if you want to wait until the prior day's high, which is confirmed it wouldn't have been until today. So taking it off the prior day's high off of the upper wick. But we also had an effort to rise yesterday on heavier volume. You can see that the 3 went above the 6. The 6 and the 18 were already positive, as were the 18 and the 50. I have scans set up in the programs to scan for effort to rise, 3 and 6 crossover, volume point of control crossover, pocket pivots. There are all kinds of ways to locate stocks like this. And of course, by looking at the group, just going down from the group into the individual stocks. Now, I've been working on some scans. They're in the files. If you have my Insider Club files, I'm going to go back to all securities, alternate space, and then if you go down here to pivots, these are pivots that I have been working on. Now, this is a bad day. You know that. Now I'm going to change charts. In my charts, I call these my contextual charts because I am looking for price relative to moving average and so on. But these charts serve several functions. I'm only going to talk about this one right here. Visual filter back test. Now notice that everything is green here. But when I go up here and click on a stock using my pivots, bullish pivot setups, day's high is less than yesterday's, and bring this up, notice that there is a green, wow, this is a buyout, so this doesn't count. Let's go to a different one. Okay, so here it is right here. This close is lower than the prior day's close, and it is a pivot based upon the filter because it closes in the above 0.30% of its daily range, and there's follow through today. Let's take a little longer look at this one. But you can see everywhere where this is true, there's a green bar. This one didn't do anything. This one went up. This one was good. This one did nothing. Well, the market just closed, but I'll go ahead and finish this. Anyway, doesn't always work, but what you're looking for are confirmed pivots. These are potential pivots. For a confirmed pivot, you want the following day. You want the high of this to be surpassed, and preferably the high of the prior day, and that happened here. Let's look at another one. This is a pivot. This is also a low volume test with a confirmation today. When the high of this was taken out, or the high of this one, that is a confirmed pivot. These are both pivots here. This was confirmed today. These are a lot of inexpensive stocks. Let me find something that's a little more expensive. AI, I'm not familiar with it. But here's your pivot and stopping volume. When this high was taken out, that's a cheater buy because it would have to take this high from the prior day out to be really considered a confirmed buy, and it did it at the end of the day. Okay, this is bullish pivots with no requirement other than the pivot. This one requires that the fan be up. So let's take a look at some of these. You can see the fans in place. The 200, the 100, the 50, the 18, the 3, and the 6. This was a slight pullback today. This is a pivot, and it was confirmed today when that took that out. Look at this one. Look how good this one was. Pivot, taking a buy right there. This one right here and a buy. These are all confirmed. Now, I actually like this scan better because I know these stocks are in an uptrend if the fan is up. Let's look at one more. NEX. Good pivot here. Confirmed. Pivot. Actually confirmed the next day, and then it closed lower, but still it was confirmed, and then another one today. Even in a market like this, there are good opportunities. Let's look at Northrop Grumman. All of these were pivots. These weren't confirmed. This one was confirmed today. So I want you to, if you're an Insider Club member, take a look at these next week. Now this one right here, the 6 is above the 18. This does not require the fan to be up, although it can be up. 6 above the 18, but below the 50. So if I bring a stock up here, well, this went above it today. But notice the 18 was below the 50 all the way through here. And the reason I decided to put this in is because I thought it would be easier to catch some stocks coming off the bottom if the 6 were above the 18 and the 3's above the 6, but the 50 or the 18 hasn't crossed the 50 yet. Let's look at another one here. Okay, you can see down here that the 50 is, or the 18 still below the 50, but the 6 is above the 18, the 3 is above the 6. This is a confirmed pivot. Same thing. This one was positive, and here we go. Not confirmed in the true sense. Did I already look at that one? Let's go down here and see if I can find one. Here's U.S. Energy Corporation. Let's look at this one. Okay, the fan is not up. You can see that. and the 18 is still below the 50, but the 6 is above the 18 and the 3 is above the 6, and this is a confirmed pivot. And then there's one more set of scans. I have an end of day and an intraday. Now these are pivots, but the 3 is below the 6, and you can see that these didn't generally fare as well today. Let's look at Star Bulk Carriers. The 3 was below the 6 yesterday. Here's your pivot. This would be a cheater buy above the high of yesterday, and it's up for the day. Okay, lower pivot, lower pivot. This one wasn't confirmed. This one is confirmed today. Okay, pivot confirmed today on intracellular. So I've been putting some work in on these. I think these are going to work very well for us to locate stocks that have pulled back just a little bit, and they have shown some buying if they're a pivot because they have to close above 30% of their intraday range, but they're lower than the prior day's high, which gives us a potential pivot. Let's take a final look at the market in Thinkorswim, and I want to keep this under 30 minutes. Okay, so it closed about where it was half hour ago, 12.012. So didn't do much. Let's look at the volume. Crude light's up $3.47. Let's look at the NQ. Didn't really change much. Volume did get a little bit higher than yesterday, so no follow through though. So I was hoping that this one would be a follow through day. I want to look at one more chart here. Let's just take a final look here at the decliners. 1524 negative on the New York and 1315 on the NASDAQ. Let's look at a 5-minute chart here. I'll maximize this. And you can see it's just been bouncing around here over the past 30 minutes, doing a little bit of nothing. Our volume ended light, as we were talking about earlier. 3 days of progressively light volume. This was the heavy volume day on Monday, where the market had a distribution day that day, and then it's been falling off since then. So there's not a tremendous amount of selling pressure or buying pressure. Let's look at the Qs. You can see the volume was lighter, like we saw earlier, and the SPY. Lower volume, quite a bit lower. I certainly can't call a market direction here, because after this, which looks so strong, this is what we have now, but it is not breaking down on heavy volume, so there's just not a lot of selling panic right now. It's just a very frustrating market to trade, and that's about all I can say about it. Protect your capital. There will be better times ahead. If you're just a long side trader, it's hard to really make any progress in a market like this. Thank you for listening. Have a very